Here's everything you need to know about the iPhone 14 in under a minute. The shape of the iPhone 14 has not changed, along with it keeping the old A15 chip, which I agree with, as that's still an insanely high performer and helps Apple keep the cost down even during inflation. However, they've removed the iPhone mini version and added a plus-sized model instead, along with replacing the SIM card with an electronic version. The iPhone 14 Pro, however, has received a new A16 chip along with a smaller notch that they now call the Dynamic Island, along with an improved camera and emergency SOS services via satellite. Just like you can get your emergency tech news by following this channel. So many people are surprised with the fact that for the first time ever, Apple has not upgraded the chip inside of their smartphone, which I actually really agree with. I mean, iPhone chips have always just been top of the line, you know, they are always about a year ahead of their Android competitors, at least. And the thing is, inflation is a real thing, you know, and supply chain is also a real issue, you know. Everything is not very well optimized for Apple and other companies to make as much money as they can. So doing something like just keeping the old chip, you know, is really gonna help Apple save some money, and in return is gonna make it so they don't really have to increase their prices, which I think is a good move by them. And then the iPhone 14 Pro, this notch thing is actually really interesting, and I actually really like it. You know, I have never thought about utilizing this sort of a space into this sort of a widget, but a few demonstrations that I watch, I mean, it actually looks really great. Like, it's actually crazy. You know, like this, I don't know, like, obviously you could just have the little hole punch camera like some Android smartphones have had for a few years now, but like, this is a really good way to do it. So overall, pretty cool. They've also added the satellite SOS services to the iPhone 14 Pro. I think it's the only 14 Pro. This is really something all smartphones should get eventually, as the tech and the various subscription services that these tech companies are going to have to pay for the satellites or whatever. I don't really know how the politics behind emergency services and these things work, but this is, you know, this is really a feature that should be in all phones. You know, this could be really useful if you get stranded in the middle of nowhere and, you know, need help. So welcome new features. I think Apple did the right thing with not upgrading the chip in the iPhone 14 Pro, because most people, unless you're a really heavy iPhone gamer, you're really not gonna notice the performance drop, and you know, it is gonna help them save a lot of money. You know, the thing is, if they go with an older chip, the thing is, the manufacturing process for that chip has improved since the first time they started producing it. So those chips are also just cheaper. So economically, it really makes a lot more sense for them. So overall, pretty exciting. I really like the new phones, actually. So good job, Apple.